Today we're going to talk about the hardest day of the no contact rule as seen by our clients. And specifically, I'm going to make an argument that the hardest part of no contact usually is going to occur immediately after you start it. In other words, the first week seems to be where most people are having trouble. Additionally, after reading over 100 posts related to no contact on our private Facebook support group and looking for patterns, I have located a total of 4 major struggle points. Now, these are essentially the days that you're going to have the hardest time with the no contact rule. So as always, let's just dive in right now so that you can have a better understanding of how these work. So the very first struggle point is something we already kind of referenced, and that's immediately after starting the no contact rule. But why? Well, human beings in general are really resistant to change. Yet this is in and of itself a paradox because life is full of change no matter how you spin it. But when you look at the no contact rule, it's essentially coming on the heels of a great change. You and your ex have most likely broken up, and the no contact rule itself is another change. The breakup is a sudden change in habit. You go from committed to single. A committed person has a certain pattern that they fall into. For example, one of my relationships, a long distance relationship, worked this way. I'd wake up and the first thing I would do is text my ex, "Good morning." Chat with the ex for 30 minutes, then get breakfast, go to work, chat with the ex periodically throughout work, come home from work, continue chatting with the ex, FaceTime the ex for a few hours, go to bed, rinse, and repeat. This is what it was like every single day. This was the established pattern. Yet, when a breakup inevitably occurred, my whole world was turned upside down. Add in the fact that most experts do recommend a period of no contact to kind of put yourself back together, you have another habitual change, and it can leave you feeling shell-shocked and full of doubt. So you go from the sudden change in habit where you're talking to your ex every day to not talking to them or talking to them sporadically during the breakup, and then you go through this other change where you're doing the no contact rule, and instead of being allowed to talk to your ex, you're not allowed to talk to them at all for 30 days or so. Well, won't ignoring my ex be rude? That's the number one question that most people have, and my answer always is the same: no. You are broken up with them and you owe them nothing. But does this mean I can't be friends with them? No, the no contact rule is not permanent. You can still be friends with them. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Expect the beginning of the no contact rule to be bumpy. It's a lot of change happening all at once during an incredibly vulnerable time. And it happens to be where most of our own clients say that they struggle. Of course, there's a few other important struggle points to take note of. The second struggle point is limited no contact breaks. So one of the other common struggle points we saw from our ex during the no contact rule actually occurred when an ex reached out to them. So for example, I'm going to take an example of a real life text message or text sort of exchange that happened during someone's no contact rule in our group. So essentially, this person's like 40 days into the no contact rule when their ex hits them with this text: "I just wanted to know if there was any mail for me." Now, this is a tricky situation because technically speaking, mail is considered items or essential items that they are entitled to. So our client has no choice but to break the no contact rule. But the rules behind breaking the no contact rule for item exchanges are pretty simple. You basically jump into texting them, keep it all about business, and then jump back into the no contact rule, maybe even extend it a few, like a week or something. So anyways, he did well. He said, "Hey, yeah, I do have some mail. What do you want me to do with it?" The ex responds, "I'll come by sometime and grab it if I can." But this freaks him out. He doesn't know what to do because, technically speaking, he doesn't want to see her. That screws up his no contact rule. So he responds, "Okay, well, I'm kind of busy this week, but I have time Wednesday after 3. Everything is good so far, right? I do have some mail. What do you want me to do with it?" The ex says, "Yeah, I'll come over for it." Our client starts kind of freaking out a bit. He says, "Okay, well, I'm a bit busy this week, but I can do Wednesday after 3. And here's where our client goes wrong. The ex hits them with an extremely emotional text and baits them into further breaking no contact. "Why did you treat me the way you did?" So it's seemingly off topic from the mail thing. So very clearly what's happening here is you have the ex who's reaching out to our client during a no contact rule where they haven't really talked to them at all, and using the male as a way to bait them, hook them in, and then hit them with the "why did you treat me the way you did?" It's raw and emotional, exactly the type of hook that most of our clients can't resist. And it bears repeating that any type of item exchange like this is considered a situation where you're forced to break no contact to get their items back to them. But some exes are savvy to this and will literally use this limited no contact rule break as a way to get you to respond. And it's so hard to resist not responding to an emotionally charged topic. I mean, look at what the ex said. "Why did you treat me the way you did?" It's almost an accusation. It makes our clients want to stand up and defend themselves. Here's my point. Any type of situations like this that you are forced to break no contact create a struggle.